Greetings, everyone. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to pick number 29 of my 30 favorite progressive rock albums of the 70s. We're counting down each and every day here in the month of June 2023. Picking my favorite prog rock albums, my favorite 30 of the 70s. So many great ones and a lot of really, really good to great ones by a lot of the same bands, right? So what we've done is we've set a limit. At least that's what I'm doing for myself. You guys can do whatever you want. But I'm only picking a maximum of 3 albums per any one band in this list. Kind of like what I did last month with the hard rock and metal band. So there's going to be a bunch of bands that are going to repeat a few times on this list. It's just the nature of the beast because you have these big bands that, you know, quite frankly had a decade to die for as far as like musical output. So, but we're going to squeeze in a lot of other stuff too as well. So it'll be fun. All right. So today, for my pick number 29, it's the 4th album from this particular band. They are, of course, a band from the UK because you're going to see a lot of UK bands on this list because prog 70s British bands, right? It's just there's so many of them. It won't all be British bands, but a good chunk of them will be. This was released October of 1971. Recorded at Trident Studios in London, England, produced by John Anthony for Charisma Records. I am talking about Pawn Hearts from Graaff Generator. Sal is very excited right now because I'm talking about this album. Sal, I know you're a big, big fan. I'm a big, big fan too. And this, for me, is the quintessential Graaff album. It's amazing. They have a whole bunch of other really, really amazing albums, but this to me is kind of head and shoulders above the others by a little bit, at least. Of course, the band features on lead vocals, piano, and acoustic and slide guitar, Mr. Peter Hamill. David Jackson on saxophone, flutes, and little backing vocals. We've got Hugh Banton, the very underrated, very talented Hugh Banton, on bass guitar, Hammond organ, Farfisa organs, pianos, mellotron, ARP synthesizer, bass pedals, and backing vocals. The guy just basically did it all for this band. And Guy Evans on drums, percussion, and a little piano. As well as guesting on a couple tracks, Mr. Robert Fripp, who of course at the time was a member of King Crimson. Right? So, King Crimson, 1971, pretty much a force to be reckoned with at that right around this time, as were Graaff Generators. So this album is, and of course you got the great Paul Whitehead artwork adorning the cover. This is the reissue of this, which is just absolutely killer. So on the regular LP, the original LP, you got side 1, which is made up of the great Lemmings, including Cog. You've got Theme 1 and Man Erg, right? Of course, Man Erg and Lemmings, both these epic length 10+ minute long tracks. Theme 1 is this brief little thing that sits in the middle of them. But man, all sorts of craziness and spaciness and atmosphere and drama and emotion and dread and anger and, you know, the big Hammond organ and the screaming saxophone and all sorts of things going on at once. Great. And you got Fripp kind of occasionally popping in and out with these shards of violent guitar work and great. I mean, side 1 is just amazing. And then of course side 2, then you got A Plague of Lighthouse Keepers, right? One of the great prog rock epics, and epic I'm talking about, epic length, right? This is 23 minutes, all of the side. It's amazing how when we talk about the great epics of the 70s from prog rock bands specifically, you know, we always talk about Close to the Edge, and we always talk about, you know, 2112, and we always talk about Supper's Ready, and, you know, the various others, and, you know, the great track from Caravan, but it's amazing how little A Plague of Lighthouse Keepers comes up in some of these conversations, unless you're actually talking about this album, and people are like, oh yeah, and that great side-long track, it's so good, Lighthouse Keepers is amazing, but yet that very rarely comes up in those conversations talking about the big epics. And of course, it's got multiple parts, and, you know, Eyewitness Pictures / Lighthouse Eyewitness as, no, sorry, Eyewitness Pictures, Lighthouse Eyewitness SHM, Presence of the Night, Cosmos Tours, Custard's Last Stand, The Clot Thickens, Land's End, Sign Line, and We Go Now, right? All made up, all put together, make up a Plague of Lighthouse Keepers. And again, it's typical Van der Graaff, just dramatic, emotional, very angry, very different sounding. I mean, there's not a lot of other bands in the prog rock spectrum that sound like Van der Graaff. You got Peter Hamill's very unique kind of theatrical and angst-ridden vocals, right? He's got this really interesting, different tone. Some you either love him or you don't, right? I mean, Peter Hamill, the dividing line right there. George LeMay, if you're watching, Eric Porter, I know you guys are not on board with Peter Hamill's vocals, and I totally get it, but I think I like him because he's so unique, and I love the interplay between like the heavy Hammond and the saxophone, right? That works out really well. I really like this band. I always wish that they had more guitar in their music. I know Hamill plays a little bit more guitar, electric guitar in the later albums, but early on, not really doing much there. That's why having Fripp on board, I think, was such a genius idea here, because he really fits with this kind of weird, jagged, ragtag kind of music here, just kind of like King Crimson, right? So, yeah, Pawn Hearts. That is my pick for today, pick number 29. Do we have any charting information? I don't believe this charted anywhere. No, it did not. No surprise there, but still a very influential album and a much loved album by people who are into this sort of music. So let us know what you think of Pawn Hearts down in the comments below, as well as your pick for today. Pick number 29 as we count our way down to number 1. And this is on the web at www.seaoftranquility.org. We're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, all together, all the damn time. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and click on that notification bell to get alert of all of our content as a post. And please do hit the like button. Tala asks you, please do hit the like button. Right, Tala? Yes, indeed. She's like, the like button is so important, Daddy. Right? Yeah, I know. Anyway, thanks for watching. Tune in tomorrow for pick number 28. And we got coming up in just a little bit, we got Martin Popoff and myself at the Funhouse. And, of course, tomorrow, the UK Connection. And Sunday, ranking the albums of the Joe Perry Project. So that's all happening over the next couple days. So tune in. Don't miss any of it. And we'll see you real soon. I'm Pete Pardo. Bye-bye.